take off.
All of a sudden, we just hear some banging right underneath our feet.
And Alaska Airlines 737 makes an emergency landing, and crews discover this.
That's him. I think he's standing in the middle.
New at 11, how the worker ended up trapped on a ride he'll never forget. The ramp worker told rescuers he fell asleep in the cargo hold after he and his crew loaded baggage. When co-workers noticed he was missing, they shouted for him. They called his cell phone, but they got no answer. KRO 7's Gary Horker is live with more. And Gary, passengers could clearly hear this worker panicking.
Can you imagine their horror, Steve? Just imagine you're in the passenger seat, you're all buckled in, you take off, and suddenly you hear a man screaming and pounding on the floor underneath your feet. That's what these passengers experienced. Then they saw the air marshals get up, and they pounded and screamed right back.
That's him. I think he's standing in the middle.
By the time a Menzies baggage ramp worker woke up and hopped out of the forward cargo bay surrounded by rescuers, passengers on board had been hearing his desperate, frantic cries for help during the entire short-lived flight.
All of a sudden, we just hear some banging right underneath our feet.
Jamie Davis said he heard the ramp worker screaming and pounding for help above the cargo hold in first class.
Two of us thought something was stuck in the wheel because that's kind of the sound of it. And then we started hearing voices underneath us and pounding significantly louder and louder.
You can hear the worker knocking in this passenger's cell phone video. He says two air marshals jumped right into action. One of them kept the panicked worker calm.
Just kept banging, kept banging. And at some point, the marshal kind of made himself known. He started banging back and he yelled really loud and said, "We're getting ready to land. Hold on to something."
The ramp worker told rescuers he was taking a nap at the end of his 9-hour shift, and the takeoff woke him up and he panicked. The captain made the call to land.
We don't have to dump fuel or anything like that. I think we have heard a noise from the baggage compartment. There'd be a person in there, so we're going to come back around.
The worker was checked out at a nearby hospital, passed a drug test, and was released. Fellow workers had no answer for what he did.
I have no idea. I think it was probably tired. He probably just fell asleep. I don't know.
Back live, you check out around SeaTac, folks. You see that 20-minute baggage guarantee that Alaska Airlines has? People who work in that industry told me off camera they're so busy loading and unloading baggage on the crush of a deadline that taking a nap is unheard of on duty. The Menzies corporate spokesman is in the UK. I tried calling him and emailing him tonight. He did not return my